Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my kitchen. I apologize for last week. It was brutal between the weather. I wasn't feeling well, and between going doing different things around here, I was not able to get a video going. Although last week it was really quite simple, wasn't it? It was doing grammar. So this week we're going to be looking a little bit more at documenting sources. I've included some information about this in another video. So I'm not going to rehash a lot of what I've said before, but I cannot stress enough how important citing sources is. Um, in Comp 2, I suppose it really depends on the teacher. You may be required to submit your essay through something like turnitin.com, and that will tell your instructor whether or not you've plagiarized your essay. Now, for essay 2, a plagiarism checker, sources checker, is already included in my comp lab. So all I have to do is just click, and it will tell me if your paper is original or not. I continue to bring this up because I still see students, cutting and pasting Wikipedia article. Um, I had a student who was so brain dead, she didn't even take out the blue hyperlinks. And I clicked on it, and it automatically brought me to that page where she had cited from the Wikipedia article. I mean, there's no real reason for it. If you're really struggling with, sources, if you're really struggling with finding somebody that you really want to write about, come to me, email me. That's what I'm here for. This is my job. This is my passion. So there's never an excuse to plagiarize. Probably not supposed to be telling you this, but when I was in Bunker Hill Community College, I did everything I could to try and get out of an assignment. I used size like 18, 16 type font, size 14 usually. I pushed in the margins. What else did I do? I did multiple spacing. And that's why you'll notice I use word count because it doesn't matter what font size you use, you still have a certain number of words that you have to write. I didn't get away with, fudging the assignments, and neither will you. So keep that in mind. I've found students spend more time trying to figure out ways to get out of doing an assignment than they would have spent actually doing it. Um, so let's recap last week's stuff, and we'll get on to this week's stuff. Last week you did grammar. Most of it was auto-corrected by my comp lab, and the ones I did grade today were the ones that had been submitted to me. There are a couple of them, at least one that is a little bit confusing, and that is the Treaties of Versailles. The question asks, should it be italicized? Should it be in quotation marks? Technically, it should be in quotation marks. The Treaty of Versailles is used in two ways. Number one, it describes the event, the actual Treaty of Versailles, and number two, it also relates to the actual document that they signed. In that case, it should have been quotation marks. The other one that students did have trouble with was Brokeback Mountain. The film Brokeback Mountain, films are italicized, is based on a short story also called Brokeback Mountain. The short story should be in the quotation marks. Books, films, those types of things should be italicized. Names of ships should be italicized. Okay, but short stories, plays, poems, even should be in quotation marks. Okay, if you have any questions on specific ones, please email me. I'll help you out on it. Okay, so last week we looked at a virtual life, spending too much time on the internet, cause effect. Very good discussion there. I'll be posting some final comments, and I will be putting that on the portal in a number of minutes. A virtual life is a fascinating story because it really kind of mimics my own life. I find myself often going down to Dunkin' Donuts at night for 3, 4 hours on end to chat with some of my friends because I'm alone here, and I buy food for at least 2 or 3 weeks, and it does kind of get dirt crazy here sometimes. I mean, I have a cat, but that only goes so far. Um, and one of the biggest troubles I find working from home is the television is a huge distraction. An assignment that might take me 2, 3 hours, I find takes me all day because I'm so distracted by what I'm watching on television. In fact, I've made it a point to turn it off. But that sense of disconnect is something we're actually seeing, not just people who work from home, but people who spend most of their waking hours either on the computer, Facebook, YouTube, movies, stuff like that. We're actually seeing an entire generation of people who really do not interact with each other. And that's kind of why I picked up on that story for you guys, because I think this next generation um, is really going to have a hard time with social skills, etc. There was actually a Facebook image that went around maybe a month or so ago. It said, today kids have iPads, iPhones, and whatever it is, iPod. When I was a kid, I had crayons, paper, and an imagination. And growing up in the 80s, I was probably one of the last of the kids, that generation that kind of played in the street, that was out a lot, went down to ballparks. This was really before the internet. I mean, the internet only really became popular when I was about 15 or 16. I always did have either a typewriter or a computer because I've had carpal tunnel since I was 12 because I've always been writing. Um, but looking at cause and effect because of that, it's really interesting. We have video games today that allow kids to stay in their houses all day long. Many of them probably don't go outside for weeks on end. Who knows? It used to be when you were grounded, you went to your room for a week, and that was it. Today it's, oh boy, I get to go to my room. I have my pager, my cell phone, my PlayStation 3 or whatever the heck it is now. And it's radically changed the way that parents discipline their kids, the way that kids interact with their parents, kids interact with other kids. I am a big fan of technology. Um, I love using YouTube, obviously. I love using Facebook. I love the fact that you can go online and look at databases like the ERIC, which is the Education Information Resource Center, and find any source that you want. I mean, I love technology, but has it made us lazy? That's a definite possibility, and in fact, I would probably lean to yes. It's amazing how we take any tool that we have for our benefit, and we automatically skew it to something that is detrimental to our health, our way of life, and to our ability to socialize and interact with other people. Okay, so that's the end of last week. This week you're going to be, as I've said, documenting sources some more. If you are confused on how to document sources, check my older YouTube video posts, and that will give you some indication on how to do these things. Okay, I don't want to keep being redundant because then next thing I know, people are falling asleep, and or worse, people stop enjoying looking at my pretty face on the YouTube channel. So this week you're gonna, I believe you have 1, 2, 3 documenting sources. Your final essay 2 should be due this Saturday. I don't have my Comp Lab up right now. Some of you have only submitted, just recently submitted essay 2, so please keep due dates in mind, okay? Somebody just finished sending in final draft of essay 1. Are you kidding me? I understand it's the summertime, and I understand that, it's easier to go outside and go on the beach or whatever than be in the classroom or even in an online classroom doing something like this. But it is crucial that you stay involved. Some of you are doing very well. And those of you who are the ones that are posting regularly to Facebook too. Sandra, you're doing great. Andrea Pierce, you're doing very well. And I've been very pleased. Some of you have been a little bit more concerned about, and as a result, I won't get named. But please make sure that you're posting to Facebook. Make sure that you're involved in the class. It's critical. Okay. I understand this is an online class, and most people have signed up for online classes thinking, well, online classes are easier. No, they're not. I've been an online student. I went from my master's online, and I went from going for my doctorates right now online. online should not be easier. You should be learning and getting the same amount of information out of an online class as you would be in a classroom. Okay. The only thing that's different is where you're taking the class. Okay. So again, stay involved. Now this week, for your reading, you're going to actually be reading about my second favorite beverage. Of course, I had to pick the cup with a mom on it, figures. Beyonce is going to kill me. I'm not going to tell you what my first favorite beverage is. Use your imagination. Okay. I will be finishing up the Facebook post this afternoon, and I'm going to continue to be grading. It seems though that grading has gotten lighter as the semester. I realize that people drop out and stuff, but as the semester's gone on, I've just been seeing more and more late posts. If you're having a medical emergency, I mean, I realize how hot it's been out, and I realize that things happen. Life does happen. I get that. Communicate with me. Don't wait till the last class to say, "Well, I've been in the hospital for the past 3 weeks." There's nothing I can do. Plan ahead. That's another cause and effect. Because I'm planning ahead, I can get a good grade in this class because I've informed my instructor that I'm sick or whatever. Okay. So I take care, enjoy your weekend, and I will see you all on Thursday.